take them on Overpass.
Just to pick up on that, that's why I feel like they have to play it, because eventually Gambit's just gonna pick it, and then you have to play it against him. And if you can win out your enemy's map pick, that's basically a best of 3 guaranteed in the top level of Counter-Strike. But we're heading into the game, so enough about Gambit. It's time to see what AVE have to offer over here, as they're starting things off with an aggressive push out from long. Waterfall scouting in, but Sviat is the one who gets tagged up early up. Great Molotov out. Going deep over to a Toxic. It's Poria to find the first mirror. Is gone Sugar waiting around the corner of the pillar. It will be taken down. SDY not letting him get past, and Magix has doubled up on the bomb site. There's no one here to provide further backup as Poria's too far away, and the bomb plant should be able to come through unless Poria can do something about it.
Yeah, Poirier trying to make his way in to get something, but they're fully aware that he could be here. He can still catch Dagster almost, but the body shots with the USP can't finish off the job. Sviat is able to get one on the side, but Poirier needed something there as Sviat has already been spotted out as well. Now he just needs to force forward, and whoa, already into the 2v1.
I just couldn't get the bomb plant down in time, and now Magix is completely solo. Bomb was dropped over towards water, very aggressively in, and now that he's been spotted out by Raging, Magix has to move back and figure out where exactly to plant. We saw a very similar situation yesterday from Zipnix, where he went for a ridiculous open plant. And I was told to call him Zipex instead of Zipnix, which I'll always forget. Magix though, peeking through, spots out the first, wants to isolate out the 1v1 initially. Raging's playing this perfectly. He's around the corner. Magix could just shut him down. He's peeking forward. Raging though, trying to peek wide. Magix has got him down and out. Now Sviat hoping to beat him to the A bomb site, but guess what, Vu? He's not on the A bomb site.
He's almost there. He's only got 12 health, but he's able to get this great location. Okay, Magix spots him out. That should be... It's going to make it tough.
Oh, Magix is just waiting for the peak to come forward. Sviat is making a lot of noise. 12 HP. Sviat's got to be careful, trying to get to that headshot angle to make it a better deal for him. What? 1 HP left on, and the Glock is about as unwieldy as any mistress can be, and that's it. He just finds out the hard way.
Oh my. Oh my. I think it looked like he kind of knew that Sviat was low. Like, I think he got dinked earlier in the round. He was going for the body shot, but the 11 damage body shot to the 12 health player. Oh my. That's one where you type HP question mark in the chat and they say 1 LOL.
Oh, that must be so frustrating as well. I'm not actually sure if in officials you can tell what the HP is towards the end of a round or not, but even
you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be.
Okay.
It would just be a question mark, and then maybe they'll answer. But I mean,
okay.
Already the insta force from Spirit. I mean, I don't think that's any real surprise. 4 Galils and an AK, not a ton of utility to work with, and by not a ton I mean none-ish.
Hey, they've got a decoy, Vu. I've been doing a lot of theory crafting recently, and I feel like there's some space for decoys in Pro Counter-Strike. I'll tell you about it in a bit, because Mir and company want to isolate out this MP9 in toilets. Poria, actually spots him out. The hairline peak was something Mir was not expecting, at least not against an MP9. Maybe we can see you consider it, but Poria smokes himself off. He'll be taking too long and decides against it, though. Peeks out once again. There's no utility to come through and support, so the fact that he's even able to get one is a big deal.
And that's exactly the type of fight you want to take if you're Spirit. You get the opening, you don't have the utility to work with, but you get a smoke off of it, and you force the aggression. Waterfalls tries to get something back, taken down. Now it's a 4v3. Maybe they can even retrieve another piece of utility off of Waterfalls' body, but you don't need the utility as much now that you've got the lower numbers and you can draw those rotates.
And they will be able to rotate Raging over very soon as well. There's still a fair bit of utility. That grenade's going to do nothing. Sviat reveals his position, and Raging might actually end up falling because of it. They're pretty checking around Optimus because of it, but no, Raging finds himself. 1 makes it 2. He's able to work the flash perfectly. Even goes out, tags Chopper, and gets another position. Raging is playing this perfectly on the bomb site.
Oh my. I mean, that's individuals. That's individuals coming up massive, and you gotta. I mean, you can call it the individuals of AVE. You could say Team Spirit. They've got to clear out truck there. I mean, they're not expecting 2 players on the A bomb site, but a gamble stack in a 3v4 is not that big of a surprise at all. And Raging just hits the 2 nice shots. And I mean, even Spirit, they even got a little bit lucky there that they picked up 2 smokes off of fallen players from AVE, gave them much better opportunities to actually make that one work, but they just couldn't win the fights.
The original drop utility. But Vu, I was mentioning to you, I firmly believe that there is space for decoys in pistol rounds, Vu. I firmly believe that.
In pistol rounds?
Yes. In a couple of maps, there's a lot of very, very useful places that you can chuck them out. First of all, you've got to, as Waterfalls will find Chopper, you've got to take into account the pin pulling is just OP. Like, being able to clear out places like Alley and Vertigo with a quick pin pull, and you can have 2-3 players rushing out hoping that someone's turned around. That's nice, but at the same time, there's a few places like Toxic, like Sandbags and Vertigo, as Poria's going to find one, where if you chuck out 2 or 3 decoys in a very specific lineup, you can actually check if there's a player there or not without having to spend any other utility, because it'll tag the player off of it. So
yeah, I've actually seen that used a couple of times.
Oh, Mare. Not the cleanest, but at least he's able to find one. Although it does seem like Spirit are really just clenching for moral victories at this point. Bomb's quite far away. No real chances of recovering it.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get 3 kills here, that would be a dream scenario. 2 kills is still pretty good because, I mean, they've taken damage. AVE has in both of these rounds. They haven't been able to build much economy at all. So any kills you can pick up, especially if you can get an M4 permanently out of the hands, is pretty successful. But I mean, you're not really expecting. I would have to say Spirit would probably have wanted more than one, but it doesn't make the biggest impact.
Waterfalls abs, that's some scary stuff and Vu, because obviously you're only recently inducted into European greatness. AKA CIS teams beating us in qualifiers, because you just don't know about them. Waterfalls is actually one of the players who's been a part of a lot of these upset rosters as well. He's fantastic individually, but he's never been able to get the same sort of shine behind him in the community as players like Dexter and whatnot have been able to. So keep an eye out for him. He has some crazy pop-off games at times, but at the same time can also fall short a little bit more recently, it feels like. He's not quite hit or miss, I would say. He's still got a base level of consistency, but he's only explodes once every now and then. He is a crucial win condition, though, for AVE over here.
In CIS teams and amazing offers. Name a more iconic duo. You can't.
Ooh. That's a big nade.
Nice little chunky nade towards wood wall. Pretty standard place to nade, and looks like Spirit wants to get some nade damage done if they can, but only a little bit on a Raging. I mean, not the end of the world.
Poria's going to get so much information if he wants to start peeking out forward. There's a refresh smoke over towards Monster as well. In the meanwhile, Sviat has to be careful. This flashbang won't be catching him out. He dodges it out, and he's very careful about this boost. He's aware of what's coming in, and Poria's yet to push. So Chopper's position actually gives so much information over to Spirit. They might want to cheat back to the A bomb site, but with this little time left and the bomb so far away, it won't be an easy rotation to make.
Going for the direct exec into the bomb site. Such a good setup from AVE, but they can't get the kills.
Oh, Sviat's got 2 and damage on 3. Now Waterfalls and Poria have been given a chance to try and clean up. Waterfalls has to come through and find the kill onto the short play. Trying to wallbang might not be the play, but he's baited out. Chopper to take the peek, and now it's Magix and Dexter left, and he's got more damage out. Peeks out wide. Waterfalls can't get the shot, but he's set up for Poria to get his. The Molotov does too much and too quickly, though. He's caught out, brought down, and just couldn't smoke it in time.
I almost want to say this is kind of typical classic CIS overpass in a nutshell. CIS teams love the B bomb site. I mean, pretty much every team loves the B bomb site, but they have this way of going about B where it kind of just feels like it's coming, but you can't stop it. And you see AVE there, not only did they have 4 players on B, they had 1 aggressive on long A. They didn't have a player on the A bomb site. They knew the B hit was coming. They had 3 players looking monster. They still got double entries.
Oh, Sugar over here, though. That could have been another kill to be found, but he's been traded out. SDY has been given the AK off the back of it. He says, well, you know what? I'm okay with this trade, actually. I'm going to back off now, if you don't mind me. But you're right, Vu. The setup looked like AVE was set up for success, but the double entry in from Spirit was massive. The fact that they were able to find those 2 kills and damage onto a third was what gave them a chance, but Dexter is not letting up on this aggression for now. Will be smoked off, but Chopper is just looking to go for another boost.
I mean, still not a single player really on the A side for Team Spirit. You can see Poirier pushed all the way through, but it's the B site that's getting hit. Magic's with the kill directly on his Viat. That's going to open up the bomb site. Now Poirier is going to have to get aggressive, and he could catch someone on the side here.
I mean, he heard Magic chucking out utility, but he checks the wrong angle. He thought it was a player who's moved back over to short, and Waterfalls left alone is going to have to save the op. You'd imagine.
You say that, but...
Yeah, true.
He wants the exits. I don't think it's worth it to go for these exits, but at the same time, if you fall right back, because it's a 4v1 Spirit, they're hunting before the bomb's even planted. They've already begun hunting. They know exactly what's happening here.
Waterfalls knows that the safest place he can go right now is the B bomb site. Have you seen Cobra Kai, Vu?
No.
No? Oh, God. That's unfortunate. Because Waterfalls, his picture looks like a character from Cobra Kai, who's got a mohawk.
That does not help me at all.
You should check it out sometime, though. It's a fun little thing to do on the side. Even so, Team Spirit able to find their second, and they make sure that the CT economy is also basically crushed down to dismay and despair, which is pretty much what sums up the CT economy these days anyway.
Yeah, I mean, hate to say it, but what has to be a little bit concerning if you're an AVE fan is they have been about as stacked on B as you can be, reasonably in these rounds. I mean, last round they didn't have a full buy, but Spirit, they're consistently going for the boost. AVE know the boost is coming. Unfortunately, still lost a player to it there. They know the B hit's coming. Unfortunately, still lost to it there. And if they can't stem the bleeding in the next gun round, you have to be a little bit concerned. And by a little bit, I mean you have to be very concerned as to how the remainder of the half is going to go.
I would hate to have you as my doctor, Vu. Just like starting off kind of nice and then going up to like, well, I know your nose is bleeding, but you have to be a little bit concerned. Okay, by that I mean you have to be really concerned. You're not gonna have a nose by the end of the day. I'm sorry, that's just how it goes. I'm gonna have to amputate your nose. I'm glad you got into Counter-Strike instead.
I'm just trying to keep it real here, man. If you can stack 4B and you can't win it, I mean, life support. You're on life support.
Well, I mean, look, they are changing up some of their responses. I like the fact that Waterfalls went for an aggressive peek early in as well. They're able to find that first. But you're right. The flash is coming out so soon. Rather, no, not soon. They're fast, but not quite there so soon. Combined with the changes of pace that Team Spirit are going for, really seem to be what are throwing AVE off. Because AVE expect them, but just at different times. Sometime, in the previous one, you saw a player being caught out in the open while he's wide peeking towards Monster. I think that might have been Trigger. And, Sviat as well, who'd been very wary of that booster come through again and again, just wasn't really ready for it to come through earlier on, maybe in the round, when he's now repositioned back to Toxic and a player's already been lost. So it seems like AVE is getting the right location, but just at the wrong time very often.
I mean, what can be kind of tough to deal with is a lot of the time you see this type of aggression on short B, right? And if you're AVE, you're thinking, well, we can just take short control, we can contest over it. But I mean, you can see when Spirit wants to, they can bust their way out Monster as well. Even if we remember back with 3 players there holding for AVE, they managed to make their way out Monster. So it's not like it's not a trivial response where it's just, oh, well, why don't you just go for water control? Spirit's not that easy to deal with, even just in the B site, and that's ignoring that A does exist to some extent. It's not B, it's not quite got the luster that B has, but it still is there.
Of course, if in case anyone's wondering what's going on, we just have some camera issues going on with the player, and if you guys are wondering what we mean by that, we just mean that cameras cameras need to be on to make sure that integrity is maintained. Of course, the CIS version of the RMR is online, but I can't wait to get these teams on LAN, to be honest with you. It's going to be some exciting stuff. Spirit going on LAN up against some of the comparatively newer 2-LAN European sides. I just want to see Spirit versus OG. I'm not going to lie to you. I just want to see Flames go up against him and see what he can get done versus a side that is just as insane as Spirit is.
I mean, that's a matchup to be looking for. It's not the one I'd be looking for, but it's
I mean,
a
there's
matchup.
other matchups too. Look, it's a major review. You don't want me to start talking about all the matchups I want to see there. I need to see which teams get there first. And SDY is hoping to take his team there already, aggressive into the B bomb side. He's trying to peek forward, but he's been brought down. Waterfalls gets a second as well. The orbs in play, and this stack is giving them quite a bit of damage. Magic has to be careful not to fall, but he's not falling back either. It's Dexter to catch Waterfalls. A big mistake in positioning, and that means that they've suddenly got the advantage again. However temporary it may be, a lot of damage, and somehow they've managed to sidestep in as well. Raging's recovered the M4. He can be boosted up if they want, but Dexter has to come up with 2 big frags. He's dropped over the gun, but he's been detected peeking out forward. Dexter's got them both.
And that was looking so good for AVE at the beginning of the round. I mean, 4 USPs and an AWP, I believe they started that round with. The AWP got 1 kill. But, I mean, that's the trouble with a monster rush. You run into 5 players B. The flashes weren't quite on point to actually blind up those players, and they just got peppered with USP bullets until they were all dead. Except for a couple, and that rotate from Waterfalls through short is what kind of opened up the round, I think, for Spirit. But 5 M4A1Ss and another fast monster.
Again, he's got a P90. He's got a P90. This is an RMR, SDY. Please keep it going.
Why not?
All right, Chopper's even got another one, reminding us that sometimes you can even one-tap. Ooh. It's one or the other. It's spray and pray, run and gun, or sit and one-tap.
I mean, taking a page out of, I think, wasn't it Furia that was the first team to really pick up the P90 as of recent and try and pretend that it's a legitimate gun? I mean, if you're gonna go for a monster rush, I suppose it is completely reasonable.
Yes, Boo, encourage me more. Encourage me more.
Don't get me started on the Negev being viable.
It is, though. It is.
I agree.
I'm fully with you on that one. I feel like with how cheap it is, it's just a matter of experimentation. Teams, I'm telling you, you know, OG have come through with the big brain grenades. Who cares about those? Wait till, you know, Karrigan gets Brokey on the Negev.
Yes.
You know what I'd love to see, Boo? Does the Negev be given another ridiculous buff because Valve is just like, come on, guys, please use it like they had to do with the AUG and the Krieg? Just give it like 450 kill bonus. Why not? Go for it.
Well, I think right now, if we're thinking about anything that needs to be buffed, it might be the M4A4. As I mean, AVE is running 5 M4A1Ss into the previous round. Maybe the M4A1S needs a bit of a buff because it didn't go all that well, but you know, they are all equipped on the A1S.
Make the Negev CT sided only and give it a $450 kill bonus. I've solved the economy, guys.
I think what you need to solve is AVE getting another round here as Team Spirit continue to hit B. And
hey,
just
I'm a genius, not a miracle worker, okay?
And only B. They only hit B, but they might be going back A. Just kidding.
Look, the problem overhead for AVE has been continually that they also haven't been able to get utility damage onto Spirit despite having the read. You know, all jokes aside, AVE hasn't found like HE grenade damage. I haven't found the perfect timing for incendiaries, and it goes back slightly to the timing topic that I was talking about earlier on as well, but it also combines up with the kind of buys they're going for. Over here you can see this is a half buy, as ridiculous as that might sound, but even in the next round off the back of this, unless you save a couple of guns, you're not going to have those HEs. So the stopping power versus a team that's going for repeated fast plays into the B bomb site is going to be a lot more limited. Oh,
okay.
Okay, Mir. You're making up for the P90 buys, and I like it. Might not have had the best of games so far, but he's heating up, hopefully. And those are the kind of shots he's going to be showing us. I want more. But Poria's found Chopper. That's a lurker. Gone. Dexter and Magix will catch them off in the meanwhile, though. Waterfalls will find one with a grenade. And even some good tag damage on the Mirror means he's a shot away from the scout to take him out. But Waterfalls just doesn't really want to contest too deeply. Oh, that's why.
I was going to say 2v3, no reason not to go for it because they can buy next round regardless. And I mean, similar idea for Poria, but getting a little bit of extra money is never a bad idea. If he was to go for the save, the odds of him winning this aren't too high. It just feels like one of those ones where you almost get peer pressured into going for it, but he'll think better and just back his way away. And I mean, what you mentioned here about the utility is exactly how it goes. I mean, AVE got a couple of quick entries there in this round, but once you have no utility on the B site, you have to eventually peek out. You saw the peek into Monster that was punished by Dagster. They can just be walking up and then pop flash out if you don't go for a clear, and Dagster's just there ready to punish. And that's exactly the reason that despite knowing that Team Spirit love hitting B, you still have to respect it and they can still get things done.
There's a couple of shots in the game which you can't help but love, Fu. You know, back in the day, I say back in the day, last week, shooting a player through mid and dust 2 was one of those. I feel like over here as well, just getting any headshot onto someone jump spotting is just so satisfying to watch. Get out of town, but Poria sent Dexter out of town. Even some damage found beyond that. Magix, however, will not be brought down. And with this, the advantage of the CT side is still somewhat threadbare. They've got more utility this time over, and Waterfalls was hoping to maybe finish off what his teammate started with an HE grenade, but Magix wasn't really nearby enough. He switched out for the AWP, the Dexter dropped. Spirit. This is why they don't go to A. This is why they don't go to A. Monster's big enough for 2 people to go together. That door isn't. It's just adapt, improvise, overcome.
The mind games for Spirit are clearly working because, I mean, you saw AVE, they go for the aggression on A. I don't think they're trying to run into 4 players of Team Spirit there. They're trying to run into Chopper solo lurking on A, isolate him, get the kill, and put the heat to Team Spirit on their B hit so they can't just find the right timings. I can't believe it. I thought he would have seen his feet there.
Yeah. It's one of the X-ray things as well, where it always looks more visible to you. So utility's coming over. Waterfall's gonna be able to dodge it out. He misses the shot though. The smoke has actually extinguished out the Molotov, so he can peek out from the side of it. He's waiting for them to move forward, but he's missed another chance. Magix finds one that should have never been. Waterfalls been hyping him up, but right now he's kind of letting me down a little bit. Sviat though, never a man to let anyone down. Finds a kill through the smoke. Chopper's out. And with this, the utility on the CT side means it's a very doable retake. They're doubling up between Sviat and Sugar as they go on to try and peek through. Optimus will be flushed out soon. There's no smoke to extinguish it. SDY should go down, but he's actually been given time because of the flashbang to get one before he's finished off. Magix blind, shoots out, but nothing to find. Mir's left to try and block them out. He'll get the first, and Raging not long for this world either. He's good for one, but the trades is fantastic. And you just think about what would have happened if Pori had finished off Magix, if Waterfalls had got that shot. Could have been a different round.
I mean, that could have looked a whole lot different, and that's one of those rounds that's a little bit backbreaking if you're AVE, because you've been leaning heavily into the B-side stacks. You have a good read. They had a good read on what was happening there from Spirit. Spirit are setting up for the A play, but they just can't quite land the shots on the actual take, and that means Spirit, you know, they're back in the driver's seat. They can do anything they want, and they can just hit towards B yet again, and AVE can't overstack it.
At least Fiat's able to find one early in with that M4 that they've taken in. I am kind of surprised that the CTs have these many M4s so often. I guess that's just the power of the A1. But Sugar, around the corner he goes.
Why not get Magix out to jail at the very beginning of the round, see how it goes, and it goes well, as you can tell. 3 for him.
Yeah, this is looking like Spirit's probably having a good time on the T side. Put it that way. I feel like they haven't had to show too much either, but in all fairness.
I mean, they've shown what I think a lot of people would expect them to show, which is
killing everyone.
Go B a lot and just kill every. I mean, there's more to it, right? As we've mentioned, there's more to it than just run out B. The timings are really crisp on the way they make their way out B. Yes. You saw, I mean, Magix went straight out alone there. That's the type of thing you're going to see from Spirit, and that means, you know, you have to. people, the typical Twitch chat comment is going to be, why doesn't AVE just stack 5B? It's not as simple as that when you're at this
I mean, they
level.
tried,
And yeah,
kind of.
they did try on their 4 USP round, and it
Yeah.
almost worked. So
They also did have like 4 players on B a few times over as
Yeah.
well. So Twitch chat, I mean, you're not too far off what you're saying.
it's you can't bring all 5 all the time, and it's even when you do, it's not quite working.
This time though, complete full buy. Porio's ready to come in and support as well directly. But Waterfalls might want to play the fast rotate over because it looks like Spirit are moving in quickly. Mir is gone. They've maintained short water control because of that tricky smoke. And now it's Magix who's got to take over the site. Molotov goes in deep. It's going to be able to force out the CTs as well, give them space to plant the bomb.
CT's trapped in on water control, and having water control is great, but having 3 water and not much from the other side isn't, although Waterfall's gonna make it look good. Oh, that is a terrifying kill to lose, because now it's just a T side taking a B.
It's going to be a difficult, very difficult place to actually enter in from. They've got the double flashes, but they don't chuck him out in time, and even when they do, Dexter's not blind. Rajin, last man to deal with, and he's looking to maybe deal with the next round. With this M4, as they start to drill forward, he'll have a chance to find a kill, but even that's just a headshot and a sloppy spray. I have to say, Waterfalls is being caught off and punished a lot, though. Even when he gets that kill over there, he gets greedy for information by peeking forward yet again, when you should know Dexter is going to be in that position any day of the week. Even the flashes being chucked out, the timings with them not great for the retake. There's definitely some mistakes that are palpable on the side of AVE coming in these timings.
Yeah, I mean, that Waterfalls kill, he goes 1 for 1, but that's just a kill you can't afford to lose given the setup your team is in. You got 3 water, 1 heaven, that's your retake. The heaven player needs to be able to continue to apply pressure so that the T's can't get into these positions that just make it nearly impossible for the CTs to entry in through short. Unfortunately, he goes 1 for 1. Then Team Spirit are in perfect positions. And I mean, I guess Spirit showing how to hold the B bomb site, leading by example a little bit on that one. But I did mention earlier, I mean, that's why going for short control, it's not quite as simple as you would think going for that short control, because Spirit, they spot out that AVE is going for short control, and they're already out monster before AVE can, even the player's done reloading after getting the kill. They're already on the bomb site, and then they just lock them out with utility, and it makes it really complicated for AVE to actually get anything done.
I mean, Vu, at the same time, you've also got to, keep in mind that this is where that difference between tier 1 opping and anything underneath that comes into play, where everyone just talks about this all the time. Like, as an opper, the transition to the top tier is probably one of the hardest things you can do to actually enable yourself, where you will get punished for peaks like that. And on the flip side, you're also looking at where maybe another team, if they're able to keep, oh my God, this is 3 timeouts in a row that they've just used. But if it's another team, then maybe they're just able to keep Dexter occupied for a longer time. Dexter has to keep an eye out for Waterfalls. Any other player has to keep an eye out for Waterfalls in heaven or towards CT. There's a lot more presence, and there's a lot more attention being diverted from short, so they can't just funnel in on that perfectly. Peeking into an op in short without flashes, or even hell with flashes, it seems like just a death sentence, unless that op is forced to choose between positions, choose between locations as well at the same time. So that death impacts them a lot more in that regards as well, and you actually sit down and think about it, I guess.
I'd like to see the op brought over to B for AVE and played towards pillar or towards short to try and get an entry onto someone from Spirit, going for that initial control, because these rifle versus rifle duels, they're just not going well for AVE. And the op has been around, it's been kind of in the area, but it's not been in the initial fights that they've been losing, just like that one and that one. Although those are pistols, to be fair, still, that's exactly what they're doing against rifles anyways.
Also, just a heads up for everyone, we've got ourselves some pretty interesting series scorelines going up. I'm going to give them some spoilers, by the way, so in case you don't want to know about the Na'Vi and Entropic game. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You had your time. Na'Vi is down 4-11 versus Entropic right now. Entropic's had a very good first half, and the halftime break just started, so do keep that in mind. That's going to be interesting stuff. I can't wait to check out what happened over there after the broadcast. Even so, don't go anywhere, guys. We want to see more Spirit. Oh, actually, even in more additions coming in. It's on Nuke, where Navi's on a 12-map win streak.
Sorry, can I unmute from the spoilers now? Like, are we safe?
Wait, well, I was hoping you'd stay muted for a while, to be honest, but it's all right. I know you're checking that scoreline every 5 seconds to be like, oh my god, what's Krat doing? What's Forrester doing? What's going on over here?
Well, what's more interesting is this scoreline, which is, you know, I believe Spirit have just won every gun round since it was 3-0 AVE, is it? Or
yes,
was it 2-0?
Pretty much. I mean, it doesn't matter is really the question.
Yeah, pretty much once Spirit got going, they got going full steam, and Dagster just about at 16K. That can't be a good sign.
Yeah. You don't want to see the missed out utility as well early in. They might not be able to catch any timings because of this. Pori, I won't realize this now. They have made Waterfalls go closer towards the B bomb site, but he's not taking those opening duels. He's rather playing from Evan, just jump spotting out towards connector and whatnot as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's just sitting in heaven, which is what he's done several times, I believe, so far this game. And he's a fairly solid spot, but it doesn't remedy the situation where Mir, Magix, they're just walking out and finding the entry onto the riflers on the B site. They're taking down Ragin. They're taking down players like Sviat just in the 1v1 duels.
And I would have honestly loved to see a double op setup being brought up, because AVE has been good about managing their economy. So they've had a few chances for it. But just to build on what you were talking about earlier, and if you can't win I know this sounds reductive, but if you can't win the gun versus gun, maybe just have another op on the site, you know? At the same time, another hit coming in. Molotov is forcing Sugar to melt a little bit. He's been backed off, pushed off from the bomb side. They've used most of the utility as a result of it. Raging's still got an incendiary, and that one goes into a corner. He's expected them to have moved over potentially, but Spirit have yet to break onto the bomb site. There's 30 seconds left, and this flashbang timing could be perfect, but they're still not going in. There's a re-execute coming out. They're expecting Sviat to have taken up toxic control again, but now Sugar's forced off as well. Mir's given space onto the bomb site. He's moving in. Sugar's so low that he can't get aggressive in these peaks. SDY tagged up, but the bomb can be planted. It's going to be a 5v5 retake when they're planning with 12 seconds left. A 1-for-1 trade, but Spirit still in control. Chopper making sure of that, as he's got both of the trades so far. Dexter giving some support, but Chopper's the one doing it all. Dexter finally chiming in, and they make it look easy. What the hell is going on here, Vu?
Yeah, I mean, AVE, they're just not comfortable taking the initial gunfights, and credit to Spirit. They go for the half exec. They put a lot of pressure on AVE, draw out all of their utility, and then the re-exec over the top with just enough utility to do it. And it doesn't look like a standard execute. It's not necessarily something they've practiced fully in a dry run server, but everything is covered. Every position is mollied or naded off. They've got everything correct and on point there to make it so uncomfortable for AVE. They've just got 4 players, I think, sitting near Graffiti trying to duel out on players from Team Spirit on a headshot angle on the hill there.
Spirit are very much reminding everyone who's boss, really. And listen, that's just how it is, okay? They've just been showing AVE the right way to get things done. Maybe AVE can do things on the T side, you know? Fingers crossed. CT side does not look fantastic for them. I would really, I'm reiterating this, I'd really like to see a double op setup coming out. It does feel like that's what's missing over here to me. You know, those flashbangs that they send out, you can have an op peak with those. You know, late round flashbang in, an op can peak. If you get a quick kill over here, you know, one of those players goes down. Bomb's not going to have as much of a comfortable time peeking, getting planted. Trigger is not feeling as pressured to not peek because he's low. It's a 5v4, so he feels like, you know, he can afford to lose out one player here and there.
How about an AUG? I'd like to see an AUG at least. I mean, double op makes a lot of sense.
Let's not get crazy, okay?
Double op makes a lot of sense, but having an AUG on the jail grill there boosted up where you're just kind of peering down in towards monster is the type of thing that can absolutely deal with the way Team Spirit are going for this. But it seems like what AVE is doing is they're getting more and more passive, more and more scared. They're giving up more and more space. And Spirit,
oh my god, they're just going in. They're just going in. Mirror's found one, but no, rather Raging is the one to take him down. The grenade that was meant to stop Spirit has instead stopped them. AVE are self-destructing in a very literal sense.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry, I can see Boo's face and it's great.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I believe that's about the 4th monster rush Spirit have gone for. And I mean,
P90s.
I mean, that's keeping AVE honest. It might seem ridiculous, but that's keeping AVE honest. And Poria, nice straight through the smoke. I suppose that keeps Team Spirit honest. They should be watching that. And although it's a 3v4, look at the health here for Spirit.
This is a great spot to be in, and the MP9 was helping to exploit Raging, though. There's so much pressure on him to perform, and he's just not able to do so. Doesn't quite step up where he needs to. But again, man, it's just health being taken out, and players are still alive. That's what it seems like is going on. Poria and Sviat have been set up for a grand 2v4 re-entrance into the CT side. You know, just giving themselves a big shot here, but dividing up across bomb sites might not be the play. He's found one, dropped down the bomb. SDY is gone. Sviat is hoping to find more. He might have gotten a second, but Chopper's just been fantastic in trading all throughout. Are they going back to the A bomb site? It looks like they are. Oh no, they're not. Poria's also not quite bit into the fake though. He's gonna hear Mir going over, chucking out the Molotov, and Poria, poor Poria.
What a play.
Yeah.
I mean, from Spirit, they run a player up. They know Poria's going to hear it. Molly onto the side. He rotates now back in, and Chopper is in the perfect position. No shot for Poria to actually get that one. Spirit with 11, despite opening up that round. I mean, in a bit of a way that certainly could have gone poorly, as they had 3 players under 10 health in that 2v4.
I feel like opening up the round in the perfect way, rather. You know, that grenade from Raging was not going to get them in any circumstance. Dropping on the ramp instead of in front of Monster is, you know, would have been nice if the CTs weren't there themselves.
And it seems like, don't quote me, Spirit might be going A this round.
It seems like Spirit might be going A this round. Unquote. VU 2021. Sorry, at VU CSGO 2021. My bad. I forgot. You know, our contract says you've got to say that. I've got to say that every time. Mir, though, has found yet another opener.
That's exactly what Spirit's been baiting them into. AVE is expecting a delayed B hit. Spirit, they're doing a very good job of not giving away extra utility tells. And so the aggression from Poria trying to isolate the 1v1 again goes very poorly. Spirit have done that both times they've gone towards A. It's been the very few rounds that Poria has gone that aggressive.
It really has been, look, you know, all jokes aside, it really has just been a masterclass from Spirit in terms of how to manipulate the CTs and never being able to know what's coming your way. Yeah, good for the first. That's the position you were hoping would be held with an AUG. He will find at least one over there with the M4, maybe proof of concept at the very least for you coming in, VU. But a flashbang overhead, a 3 versus 4 Spirit. Likely to get control very soon. They've got an incendiary over for water as well. Water falls, will fall in water. Poetic, even, some would say. And as Magix takes down Raging, it's only Sugar left. An MP9 in his hands, going to be nice for Magix and Mir, but the rest of them are quite healthy. Good for one, but traded out. 12-3, Spirit take the half, and we will take a break as we head into the second.
This world is slowing down. How can I fight it? How
Back into things, we've seen a domination, mostly of the B-bomb side from Team Spirit so far, and AVE are hoping to at least make it look a bit more respectable moving into the second half. I'm Tita, I'm joined by none other than Donald at VU CSGO Barkhurst. Donald, how are you feeling?
You're scaring me with this energy. You're sounding a lot like Darth Mike, and he scares me all the time.
Well, in all fairness, Darth Mike is scary for a lot of other darker reasons. No one should look that good on a C920. Spirit, though, with the kind of cushion that they've set up for themselves, AVE's going to be feeling the pressure. And right now, AVE is hoping to, maybe let the bomb have some playtime over in Playground, as it is now trading back. Maybe some indecision coming in. Spirit's already explored the B-bomb side. Say, wait, we're not used to starting on this side. Can we go back to our comfortable spots, actually? Magic's just pushing through Monster to end up on T areas.
It almost feels like a mirror of the CT side where you've got Sviat hiding in T spawn waiting for the aggression. It just feels like how their B holds were going a little bit.
Oh, they're just expecting some sort of aggression, but are they going to check for Magic's is a big question. Any noise made whatsoever, and Magic's calls in Mirror to help him out as well. They are fully set up for this. Shopper's even ready to start pushing in through with a flank into connector. This is going to be a bloodbath as they start to peek out. Rajan and Corey have got to be so careful. Magic's, however, misses out the first few. Chopper's good for one. Mirror's gone already, so they've got the trades going in their favor. Chopper, though, has been the master of trades so far, and as long as he's alive, the T-Sign have to be very careful. SDY chilling in his smoke as he waits for the plant. He's going to hear it being popped down, knows where it is, but he can't really trace anyone out through that smoke. Not yet, at least.
A pick control maintained by Team Spirit means they can take some pretty advantageous engagements with these USPs despite being in a 3v4. It's going to be tough for the Glocks to win these long range.
And now Dexter's moving forward. You still have to be careful about the player over in short. That's a first coming through. Sugar finding some damage. Dexter fighting back with two big frags. And now, as they get onto the bomb site, they do have a kid. It's on SDY. Dexter needs to protect him, and he knows what's going on. Striking the duel outwards. Will find another, but now it's only his body he's got. And with a single bullet, Sviat is just gone. Dexter, what a round from him.
What a shot. And I mean, that's part of the problem with not getting pit control out there for AVE. That means that, Dexter was given these engagements where he could take longer range fights with USP, as was the rest of the team. And Dexter is a player that, I've been in the past a little bit critical of his non-op play, but you don't need to be good without the op if you got the op in second round.
Is this what people pay you hundreds of dollars an hour for coaching for?
Yes, yeah, exactly. This is precisely it. Buy an op on second round. VU tips.
If you can't use a rifle, just op.
Op, no head armor, by the way.
Hey, it's fine. They've got Deagle on the other side. He knew they were going to go for that. I'm actually a big proponent, as Dexter found with Rajan, of doing your research on teams beforehand. And if you know that they generally do go for Deagles in second round, just don't get head armor on CT side. I'm also not a color caster or an analyst, so
I don't know if you need to do the research to know that every team likes to go for deagles.
Actually, funnily enough, some regions have been going for a lot of Glock rounds if they don't go for get bomb plants. In South America in particular, even the Asian region and a couple of the teams in, I would like to say, even in the EU have been going for Glocks.
All right, just flex on me, why don't you? Flex on me, why don't you?
Hey, man, that's just how it goes sometimes.
Sorry, I'm an NA EU CIS specialist. That's it.
Listen, VU. That's just you throwing in CIS in the very end. They'd be like, oh, I forgot about that.
Hey, I told you exactly how this game was going to go. Spirit, we're going to hit B over and over and over and over and over, and I said it would work, and it has in fact been working.
All hail the great VU, overlord of analysts.
And don't wear it out.
Indeed. AVE is going for a little bit more aggressive control back over towards party, but this time Dexter is actually nearby enough that he can take aggressive early deals if he'd like to, playing from Divider. Nothing too out of the norm so far. They've been very heavily contesting connector, though.
Yeah, the heavy contestant connector means that Dexter can stay in towards Divider for quite a while. It's a bit of a gamble not to move back a little bit early, but he does actually have a teammate Chopper rotating over. And this is kind of showing the confidence Team Spirit have. They don't need 4B. They're playing over towards 2A, and that means Dexter can maintain control. that you didn't necessarily see AVE maintaining this late into the round. And they can go for something like a re-aggress in towards bathrooms and potentially isolate out Ragin and the rest of AVE here with this little Fnatic Astralis setup, depending on how you like to name it.
Oh, that's a peek coming out instantly taken down though. Chopper punished for his aggression, and with 40 seconds left, Dexter knows that it all will be falling down onto his shoulders. There's only a single flashbang available. That's in Poria's hands. Dexter is trying to delay the long hit a while longer so that he can get that late peek in while the aggression comes that SDY deals with. He's pushed in, and he can recover the AK as well. But he has to be careful. Mirror is giving him the cover fire he needed. Poria will trade, but it might be too late. SDY still alive. The bomb is still on the ground, and Poria has been peeked out into. SDY provides a bait for Magic to swing, and Sviat will be the final characters. 15-3.
And what you saw from Spirit there is they didn't let AVE really get into the gunfights that they wanted to be taking. They caught AVE in bathrooms as utility was getting thrown, as they were moving through angles where they're not very comfortable with those fights. And that's how they brought it back from a 4v5. They didn't let AVE kind of run into them with utility blazing the way Spirit was able to do on the B bomb site against AVE. They caught them in transition. That's how you catch them. That's how you bring a round back in your favor.
Now SDY's even gone and got the secondary op inside connector. Again, a lot of prioritization for that, like you mentioned, just to give Dexter more space to work around with.
So this does leave SDY a little bit trapped in connector. They can come from above and below. That feels, hate to say it, that feels a little bit CIS Counter-Strike to just say, Sum Young, you're gonna do it. We believe in you. High five, hold connector from both directions.
In all fairness, when you're 15-3, I don't blame them too much for it.
Yeah, and they do have Chopper. I believe Chopper's rotated over to help cover as well. So he was only left alone for a little bit, and now he's got support to be able to hold pretty correctly.
Couple of seconds on the sidelines will do some good. That's what they're saying. But Chopper is on the sidelines for more than a few seconds now. Dexter and SDY, both the AWPs are able to find out a few. SDY's getting aggressive. How could he? Almost gets the flick as well, but he's set up for the trade, and it's Spirit